Hey team, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am here to explain to you why I have decided to compete in a bodybuilding show and a powerlifting meet in the same weekend. I am an athlete through and through. I'm a competitive bodybuilding coach. I'm an online personal trainer. I'm a competitive bodybuilder and a competitive powerlifter. Weightlifting has been a huge part of my life for many years. And so when the opportunity presented itself to compete in a bodybuilding show and a powerlifting meet on the same weekend, of course, my brain was like, awesome. Wouldn't that be cool? Let's do it. And the added layer of it only being 3.5 weeks away is a huge challenge that I just want to take on. That's it. If you're an athlete, you understand that. You understand that you get to a certain point in sport where you just want to see how far you can push your body. How far can you push your limits, your mind, everything. And so this is my thing. This is how I'm going to do it. So story time on how this even came about. I just got back from IPL Worlds in Argentina competing for powerlifting. And all year I've been fully in powerlifting. Last year I was mainly in bodybuilding, and then coming into 2025 is when I started competing in powerlifting. I did a meet in February. I went to nationals at the end of July, and then was asked to be on Team USA for Worlds in Argentina. Just the beginning of this month. So November 1st was when I actually went onto the platform to compete. Now, throughout that time, I have been having to just eat and eat and eat to try and stay within my weight class, which is 90 kg. I've been at the bottom of that weight class, like so far at the bottom that I've been weighing in under and having to drink water to actually make weight for that weight class. And in powerlifting, if you don't know, when you qualify for the next level at a certain weight class, you have to compete at that weight class. So just coming out of Argentina, I automatically already dropped a few pounds just coming back, just eating intuitively. I wasn't exactly weighing anything out, but I always eat very healthy, chicken, rice, vegetables. I'm boring. And so we started planning out, my coach and I, Aaron Chappell, we got together, we started planning out the next year of powerlifting meets. And we decided that I would want to cut down into the lower weight class into 82.5. And in order to do that and still qualify for nationals, ultranats, because technically I was qualified for ultranats, but at 90 kg, I need to compete in a local show at the new weight class, get the qualifying total needed to qualify so that I can compete at nationals, which is something I really want to do. Ultranats is going to be awesome. It's where they have all of the tested lifters and the untested lifters at the same meet. And so it's going to be just amazing. I'm so excited to meet everyone. So we're looking around. We're like, okay, like what local meet am I going to enter into so that I can qualify at this lower weight class? And so we're looking online for like local meets. There's not really anything there. And there was one in Jersey, but it was literally like 2 days away, and that was not going to happen. There's a registration period you have to hit. So I'm looking around, and we find a local meet in Dallas, Texas. And I happen to go back to Houston, Texas every year for Christmas to go see my grandparents. So we find this one in Dallas. It's December 13th. And I'm like, okay, bet. Like, I will fly into Dallas. I'll compete at this meet. And then I'll drive down to Houston to see my family, and I'll stay there for the holidays. So book the flights for that and register for that meet. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to qualify, and then we go do Nats. I also have another powerlifting meet in Ohio, the Stinsland. It's during the Arnold Sports Festival. So that's in March. Then we go to Ultra Nats for nationals, and then hopefully make it to Worlds, hopefully get invited to Team USA again. Would love that. So we planned out all of this powerlifting. And the other day, a couple days ago, I'm sitting at this coffee shop up here in Lidditz, Pod 2, and I'm praying. I'm doing Bible study. I'm praying. I'm like, look, God, like, where do you want to lead me next? Where do you want me to go with, my career, with powerlifting, all of this? And I have my head down and praying, and I look up, and the tab on my computer says 3,333 unread emails. Please do not give me shit for that, okay? That is not what this story is about. I get it. That's a lot of unread emails, all right? I will fix it probably never, by the way. So nag about it all you want. It's not getting fixed. It says 3,333 unread emails. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So naturally, I take a picture. I send it to my sister. I'm like, interesting. She's like, well, what's the email that came through that caused it to get to that number? And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I look in it, and it's not the last email that popped up, but there's an email right at the top at 2:22 p.m. that came through. And I'm like, weird. So I click on it. It's almost like it was like highlighted on the page. Click on it, and it's a bodybuilding show in Dallas, Texas, the same weekend that I'm there for the powerlifting meet. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Send her that. I'm like, that's what it is. And I'm like looking around on the website for the meet or the show. And it's a national level show in Irving, Texas, which Irving, Texas and Arlington, Texas, where the powerlifting meet is, are literally right next to each other. Like the venues for these two events are 20 minutes from each other. So I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's on the weekend. And then I'm looking through the schedule, and the women compete on Friday, December 12th. So my sister jokes around and she's like, oh, why don't you do both? And I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. So I send it to my coach, Aaron Chappell, and I'm thinking he's going to be like, no way. That's 3.5 weeks away. There's no way we're doing that. And he responds with, I've always wanted to do something like that. Let's see if we can make it happen. And I'm like, so at this point, because my coach is like, that's somewhat doable. This is why it's so important to have mentors and coaches that believe in the impossible, that are willing to try things, are willing to push the limits. Because if you're coaching your mentor, by the way, if you don't have a coach or a mentor, you need to get one. But if your coach or your mentor is the kind of person that, like, yes, coaches need to be real with you and be like, hey, that's not going to happen, but I think it'd be cool to do both on the same weekend. Let's try to find some that line up like that next year. Awesome. Cool. Let's try it out. Right. Your coaches do need to be real with you on things, but you also need someone that like believes that you can do really hard things. Okay. If he didn't believe that I'm the kind of person that could dive in and just absolutely slaughter myself with fitness and a very strict meal plan and very strict supplements and literally go all in for 3.5 weeks, he'd probably be like, no, that's not going to happen. But as soon as he said, like, let's see what we can do, heck yeah, dude. So then I start getting excited because the athlete in me is like, this is a brand new challenge. And if you're an athlete, you know that feeling. You know that feeling where you're like, oh, this seems a little impossible, but like, can we do it? What's the next hardest thing? I've already done bodybuilding shows. I've done powerlifting meets. This is just like a really cool combination of the 2 in 1 weekend. So then I'm looking into it further. I'm like, is this actually possible? Because you have to weigh in for both. You have to weigh in for powerlifting meets. You have to weigh in for bodybuilding shows. I start looking at the schedule, and I kid you not, I fly into Dallas, and that night is the weigh-ins and tanning and stuff for the bodybuilding show. I would then wake up, I compete in prejudging for the bodybuilding show. Then in the break, because there's usually a break between them, in the break between them, I would drive 20 minutes, go weigh in for my powerlifting meet for the next day. I'm going to look ridiculous. I'm going to be all tanned up. Again, we're going to get to the if this happens part. Okay. I am not absolutely delusional. I just want to see how far I can push my body in 3.5 weeks. But I'm going to get to all like the explanation of what I am not trying to say by doing this and what I am trying to say by doing this, because I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, oh, you think that you can do better than someone that did a 24-week prep? No, I do not. Okay. So I will get that. I will get to that part. All right. But prejudging, compete in prejudging, drive 20 minutes, weigh in looking ridiculous and tan and glass glimmered up for the powerlifting meet, drive back, compete in finals, because the weigh-ins for the powerlifting meet start at 4 p.m. Finals at the bodybuilding show start at 5:30. So then I drive back, compete in finals. I would then eat, sleep, wake up, compete at the powerlifting meet. Everything, the timing, everything is working out awesome, right? So now I'm like, well, now it's actually possible. Logistically possible. Okay. So now we're like, let's see what you look like. Let's do an in-body scan. Let's do pictures for powerlifting. I don't generally send him check-in photos. So I get up the next day, in-body scan. Like, if we're going to do this, we've got to get into it now. I believe his exact words were, we got to do it yesterday. And I'm like, absolutely. So that's how it all came about. The reasons why I want to do this, again, I'm an athlete. This is a challenge. It seems fun. It seems exciting. It seems nerve-wracking. And I just want to see if I can do it, right? I watch way too many people walk around this earth so scared to try anything. And it's like, just try it out. If you fail, you fail. Oh my goodness. Like, what's the big deal, right? And I don't see a way to lose at this, because say I go all in on myself for 3.5 weeks. And this is one of the things I am not saying that I'm going to do. If 3.5 weeks from now, I do not have a stage acceptable or a stage ready physique, I am not going to go on stage. Okay. I respect this sport and the people that work tirelessly for 23, 24, 25, even more weeks to prep themselves for these shows, especially at a national level, because this is a national show. I respect those people way too much to just like see where I can get in 3.5 weeks. And even if I'm not ready, I just show up and get on stage. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Maybe if it was a smaller local show, even that, I personally don't like doing that. It's different when it's your first ever prep. It's a local show. Maybe prep didn't go quite as planned, or you're not as ready as you'll be in your following shows, which you won't be. Something I learned from one of my other coaches, which I'm going to bring him into this too, Anthony Deal, is your first prep is always your worst prep. Your body has no idea what it's doing. So yes, at local shows, you're going to see people that could improve, could do better. That's going to be true at any show. But some people that maybe you would, that just aren't like exactly stage ready, but that's okay, because they put in the work, they got there, they have made an excellent transformation, and they're going to show it off, right? I'm not going to do that. Not at a national level show. I also don't want the judges remember you. Okay. They remember how kind you are. They remember how you talk to them, how you present yourself on stage. They remember these things. They're human beings. They remember you. Okay. I do not want to be remembered at a national level show for being the girl that just like on a whim decided last second that she was going to use her national qualification, which, by the way, I'm qualified for this show because in 2024, I won the first overall open figure at the Pennsylvania Muscle. So that qualified me for a national show. When you get qualified, you're qualified for the full next year after you qualify. So that's how I'm still qualified for this show. But yeah, I don't want to be remembered as the girl that just like got on stage just to get on stage. That's not what this is about. This is about pushing my body to extremes to see what I can do in 3.5 weeks. And if I get there, I get there. If not, I'm going to look really freaking good for my birthday. Okay. My birthday's on the 14th. So it'll be bodybuilding show, powerlifting meet, birthday, all in a row, which I'm really excited about. But, so yeah, I am in no way saying that I am expecting to be better than the people that are there that worked for 23, 25 weeks plus to get there. I am not saying that I'm trying to win. I'm trying to get stage ready. And if we feel like I have a physique that deserves to be on that stage in that time, we'll do it. Okay. But no, I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not saying that I'm trying to be the best. I'm not saying that. I am also not saying that this is a good replacement for a 24, 25 week prep at all. There are a lot of really great reasons to do that long of a prep. One being your health. I am fully understanding that what I'm about to do is not great for my health. Okay. This is already an extreme sport when you do a 24-week prep. What I'm doing is even like, I'm not going to say more extreme than that. What I'm doing is a little more stupid because a 24-week prep, even that, it's an extreme sport. There is going to be risk in terms of health. All right. Same for any other extreme sport. There are risks when you race and fly airplanes. There are risks when you drive a car around a racetrack 300 times at top speeds. There are risks when you bungee jump and skydive, and risks when you run 100 miles through the desert or through a trail. Like there's going to be risks for every extreme sport. Okay. Like I said, what I'm doing is a little more stupid than that lengthy prep, but I am in no way saying that this is to replace a lengthy prep. I am in no way saying that this is anything that someone should do at all to lose weight. All right. I fully believe as a personal trainer that you should, especially if you are someone that's like a lifestyle client that's watching this, if you found this video because you YouTubed how to lose weight in 3.5 weeks, that's not what this is for. Okay. If you are someone that has ever Googled, and I think we've all done it at some point or another, before we learn about food and fitness and how it all works and everything, how to lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks, how to lose 30 pounds in a month. That is never going to work. Okay. Like sustainably for normal human beings. There's a lot of caveats in fitness and nutrition, but I do not want this being used for, oh, if I do what she did, I'll lose this much weight in that little of time. No, this is not a healthy thing that I'm doing. It is an extreme thing that I'm trying out. And if I don't get there, I don't get there. Right. But I also do have experience with, reversing out of a show, which my experience was not a good one the last time. That was due to a lot of personal reasons in my life, a lot of really big things happening in my personal life at that time, a lot of stress. So I did not handle it well. My coach begged me up and down to send check-ins and do the reverse correctly and stay on it. He gave me the reverse plan before I even stepped off the stage, before I even went on the stage. But that time in my life was just very, very stressful. A lot of big things happening in my personal life. And so I have seen what it looks like to screw up a reverse and gain 30 pounds back in 3 weeks. And so because of that experience, I am very confident that coming out of this, I will be fine. I am not in that stressful part of life anymore. I also feel very, very confident in this because I have not only one, but I have two very knowledgeable coaches on my side, Aaron Chappell and Anthony Deal. They are so knowledgeable in lab work, in coaching women, in bodybuilding, strongman, extreme sports, everything. And so I feel very, very safe. Not only that, I have a very, very deep self-awareness of my own body and also my own mental health. Now, it's going to be hard for me when my mental health starts tanking in a couple of weeks because of how low my food is and how extreme I'm getting with the fitness. However, both of these coaches know me well too. They've both known me for well over a year. They've worked with me for well over a year in different sports, in powerlifting and bodybuilding. So I feel very, very safe because of that team of 3 knowledgeable coaches, just seeing what we can do in 3.5 weeks. Okay. So I do not want anyone, I probably won't share a lot of specifics on exactly what supplement protocol that I'm taking, what PEDs that I'm using, how low my food gets. I'm not going to share a lot of that just because I do not want someone who is a lifestyle or a regular person that's just trying to lose weight to find this information and try and use it to lose weight and not have a coach and not have a mentor there for them and it be detrimental to their health. That's not what I want at all. So, yeah, not saying that this is a replacement for the lengthy prep and it's not something that other people should do. But yeah, this is really just to see how far I can go. And I'm going to learn a lot. If I don't make it to the stage, I don't make it to the stage. If I do, that's going to be freaking awesome, right? Why not take the chance if you have the chance? If it just all aligns for you and the door is open, I'm going to walk through the door and I'm going to explore it. And if I get kicked out or I want to leave, I leave. So that is where I'm at with this. The other bummer about this is that I am running and I'm going to try my best to run a half marathon this Saturday because I signed up for it over the summer before I even made it to nationals. Before I even knew I was going to go to worlds for powerlifting. So I was running with the run club a lot and signed up for a half marathon because I got really excited. I wanted to get good at a new sport because when you're an athlete, you're like, let's try everything. And I couldn't get my money refunded because they have a pretty tight refund policy. I'm not injured. I'm not dead. I'm not on a work trip. And so I don't want the money to go to waste. So I'm going to go try it. I'm going to jog at like a walking pace. I'm just going to try and finish. That will be my cardio for the day in this extreme 3.5 week prep that I am trying out for bodybuilding. But all that to say, please pray for me. I'm excited to see where this goes. And I hope that you'll follow along with my small vlog series of what is happening along the way and if I make it at all. Before I go, yeah, so far, all we've done, we're about 3 days into this adventure. Okay. I went and I got an in-body scan done. I am at 21% body fat. I do hold a lot of it in my legs. So that's going to be one of the difficulties. Other perceived obstacles is obviously this half marathon. I'm going to have to put what little food I have around this marathon so that I can actually finish it and hopefully not die. Again, I am not a kill myself just to make it happen kind of person. I will push very, very hard in these things, in whatever I do. But if I get out there and I am like puking on the side of the street, I'm not going to try and finish the half. I'm going to just give it up, say I tried, maybe later in life, and try it later, right? So again, this is all just seeing what I can do, pushing to the limit. But if things don't work out, things don't work out. and you go on to the next, or you try again later, try and do it better later, maybe for a longer amount of time. But yeah, so 21% body fat. We've started with 90 minutes of cardio a day so far. We dropped my food down, which was easy to do. It was up to a considerable amount. We had already kind of started lowering it down from after Worlds because I didn't have to be in that weight class anymore. But I think I've covered everything, and I hope you follow along.